Adam Carter had just tucked his 7-year-old daughter Lily into bed when the storm hit hard. Rain battered the cracked windows, wind howled through the gaps in the frame, and thunder rolled over their shabby little apartment. "Daddy," Lily whispered, eyes wide, "is the roof gonna leak again?" Adam forced a smile, brushing her damp hair back. "Not tonight, sweetheart. I fixed it the best I could." He kissed her forehead, turned off the flickering lamp, and stepped into the living room. Bills littered the table, shouting demands for money he didn't have. His construction job barely covered food and rent. There was nothing left for dreams. He had just sat down when the sound ripped through the night. Tires screeched, metal crunched, glass shattered. Adam bolted to the window. A black luxury car had slammed into a tree down the street. Smoke curled from the hood. His pulse kicked. "Stay here," he shouted over his shoulder, racing outside into the rain. Inside the car, a young woman slumped over the wheel, blood streaking her forehead. Adam yanked the door. It wouldn't budge. Gritting his teeth, he pulled harder until it gave. He unbuckled her seatbelt and lifted her into his arms. Lily was at the apartment door, eyes wide. "Daddy, she's hurt," Adam said, laying the woman on their couch. "Bring the first aid kit." With trembling hands, he cleaned her wound and pressed a towel against it. She stirred briefly. "Thank you," she whispered before going limp. By morning, she was stronger. She insisted on leaving, gripping Adam's hand. "You saved me. I'll never forget this." Days later, a black car returned. The woman stepped out, elegant now, every inch commanding. "My name is Victoria Hale," she said. "CEO of Hale Enterprises." Adam blinked. "You're a millionaire." She smiled softly. "And you gave me my life back. Let me return the gift." She handed him keys and an envelope. "A new home for you and Lily. A trust for her education." Lily hugged her father's leg. "Daddy, we're gonna be okay now." For the first time in years, Adam allowed himself to believe the answer was yes. Marcus Reed was invisible to most of the world. At the diner where he worked double shifts, people barely noticed him as he poured coffee or scrubbed plates. Only his 9-year-old son, Ethan, really saw him. That night, after a long shift, Marcus was walking Ethan home under the flickering streetlights when the screech of tires tore through the quiet. A car had flipped into a ditch. Marcus shoved Ethan behind him. "Stay here." He scrambled down the embankment. Smoke poured from the sedan. A young woman was inside, pounding weakly at the window. Marcus smashed the glass with a rock. "Hold on." He tugged at the seatbelt, jammed tight, and finally wrenched it free. He dragged her out just as the vehicle burst into flames. She clutched his shirt. "Why would you risk your life?" "Because I'd hope someone would do the same for my son." Paramedics came, carrying her away. Marcus never even learned her name. Weeks passed. Rent piled up. Dishes stacked high. Life went on. Only Ethan reminded him. "Dad, you're a hero." Marcus laughed it off. Then a limousine stopped outside their building. Out stepped the woman. Whole, radiant, her presence commanding. "My name is Isabella Carter," she said. "My family owns Carter Industries. You saved me. I want to change your life." She handed him papers. A deed to a house, a scholarship for Ethan, a job with real pay. Marcus's throat tightened. "I don't deserve this." Her eyes softened. "That's exactly why you do." For years he had been unseen. But now, holding his son's hand, Marcus finally felt seen, truly seen. Daniel Hayes had given up on miracles long ago. Since his wife died, he worked nights as a janitor, raising his daughter Grace alone. Every dollar went to keeping food on the table and the lights on. One foggy night, he heard the crash outside the school. He ran and found a luxury car crumpled around a pole. Inside was a young woman, unconscious. Daniel forced open the door, cut the jammed seatbelt with his pocketknife, and carried her into the gym. Grace brought water while he patched her up with rags. Hours later, she stirred. "You saved me." Daniel shook his head. "Just did what I had to." By dawn, she left, saying only, "I'll never forget this." He never expected her to return. But a week later, a sleek car pulled up. Out stepped the woman, elegant now. "My name is Amelia Brooks," she said. "I owe you my life." She showed him documents. A scholarship for Grace, the deed to a safe home, an offer of stable work. Daniel's voice cracked. I never wanted anything in return. Amelia smiled. That's why you deserve it most. When Grace hugged him, whispering, Daddy, we're safe now, Daniel finally believed her. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to hope again. Jacob Miller worked himself to the bone at the warehouse to provide for his son, Noah. Life was paycheck to paycheck, but he never complained. All that mattered was Noah's smile. One night, walking home, they saw the crash. A red sports car wrapped around a pole, smoke rising. Stay here, Jacob shouted, rushing forward. Inside, a young woman was bleeding, barely conscious. The door was jammed. Jacob tore it open, pulled her free. Her eyes fluttered. Don't let go. I won't, Jacob promised, carrying her to safety. Moments later, the car caught fire. Paramedics took her away. Noah looked up at his father. Daddy, you're a hero. 2 weeks later, a letter came. The woman wanted to meet. At her office, she introduced herself. I'm Emily Davenport, she said. You saved me, now let me save you. She handed him keys and papers. A home for you and Noah. A trust for his education. Jacob's voice broke. I didn't save you for money. I know, Emily said softly. That's why you deserve this. Later, as Noah laughed in their new backyard, chasing fireflies, Jacob sat on the porch with Emily. Why us? He asked quietly. Because you reminded me that life isn't about wealth, she said. It's about courage, and you have that in ways money can't buy. Jacob looked at his son, free at last, and knew their lives had been changed forever, because one night, he hadn't let go of a stranger's hand.